Hey, Shale, my new addition. How are you finding your surroundings? And are you finding life movable now, without pigeons pooping on your shoulders? And I'm pleased to meet you. What's with the sigh?
Oh, that. Merely reflecting on the hopeless nature of the task in front of it. The most likely outcome is that it and its companions will become a stain on some rock for the Darkspawn to tread upon. I shall be moved to a single tear by the tragedy.
Well, won't we be right next to your stain?
I think not. I am made of pure rock, skin to core. At best, I can become a pile of dust, but a smear I will definitely not leave behind. That's for softer, squishier things like itself and its friends. What's that? Did it hear flapping wings? There may be pigeons nearby. We should be alert.
Yes, and if you cheek me again, the rock thing, I'll have them land upon you and claw your bloody eye out. Right. My favourite time of the day, it has to be said. Chatting with Morrigan. Let's hope I don't annoy you this time. Oh. Nice raging fire you've got going on here, Morrigan, all for yourself. Care to share it?
What do you wish of me?
Oh, I'd like to ask you something.
If you must.
Have I asked these before? I can't remember. It's been so long. Is Flemeth really what she seems to be?
Well, that depends, does it not? What does she seem to be?
She seems to be an old woman. I think I've asked this before, actually.
Oh, she is certainly old. Have no mistake of that. Tell me, how much do you know of the tale? The one that the chastened still tell of my mother, to frighten them into obedience.
I know it all. I've just listened to the whole story from bloody Liliana. I've heard little of it.
No doubt such a tale has mutated much over time and telling.
Yes, mutated
I
many
can relay
times.
what Flemeth once told me herself, and you can decide whether or not 'tis the truth, if you desire.
And now I'll have to listen, because I don't want to insult her. So, go on.
As the tale is sung by the bards, there was a time when Flemeth was young
God.
and beautiful, a fair lass in a land of barbarian men, the desire of any who saw her.
Just how long ago is this?
Many centuries, before this land was even named Ferelden.
Many centuries.
The tales say that Flemeth fell in love with Osen the Bard, and fled the castle of her husband, the dread Lord Conobar, and that he swore vengeance for her infidelity. In truth, my mother claims that 'twas Osen who was her husband, and Conobar the jealous lord who looked on from afar.
Really?
Lord Conobar approached young Osen and offered him wealth and power in exchange for his lovely wife, and Osen agreed.
My God. He sold his wife to another man?
The life of a bard is a poor one, and love fades in the wake of hunger. 'Twas Flemeth who suggested the arrangement. All would have been well had Lord Conobar kept his end of the bargain. But he was a foul man who bargained with coin he did not possess. Osen was led off to a field and slain, left for dead. Flemeth spoke to the spirits and learned of the deed, and swore revenge.
Well, I have to say, this makes more sense than Liliana's version. So, she spoke to the spirits, or did she actually speak to demons?
Spirits first, and 'twas they who slew Conobar. Flemeth did not turn to the demon until much later. Lord Conobar's allies chased Flemeth, you see, chased her to the wilds, and there she hid. There she found the demon, and he made her strong. The legends all speak of the great hero Cormac, he who defeated Flemeth and her great army when she invaded the lowlands centuries later. All lies.
Well, I suppose Flemeth would say that, wouldn't she?
You would be surprised at how little my mother cares for what I or others think of her past. The truth of the matter is that there was never an invasion. As Flemeth tells it, the Chastened never raised an army under her banner, and she never fought with any warrior named Cormac. Cormac led a brutal civil war against his own people, and later claimed it was to vanquish evil that had taken root amongst the lords. Thus, he was hailed a hero. Flemeth was only attached to the legend much later. Perhaps 'twas due to the great war with the Chastened that eventually came, but Mother claims not to know how it began.
Okay. Well, an interesting story. Do you believe her version?
I do not believe everything that Flemeth claims. Oft it seems her bitterness has coloured her memories.
Yes.
But on the whole, yes,
Maybe a bit of
I believe
dementia as
this
well.
tale, if not all.
So how has she survived for so long? I mean, you said centuries, didn't you? Centuries ago this happened with the Conobar and whatnot.
The demon within her has transformed her into something else. An abomination, perhaps some would say. I know not. I only know my mother is clever, and she is part of the wilds as it is part of her. But she is no immortal. She bleeds. A blade in her heart would kill her like any other, were it lucky enough to find
Yes,
her.
she hasn't been lucky enough in centuries, so... well, she's doing something right. So this legend says that Flemeth has many daughters. You be one of them? You have many sisters?
You ask if I have sisters. I have asked of this myself. The stories tell of many witches of the wilds after all, not just the one, and these tales existed long before I did. Flemeth refuses to speak of other daughters, if they existed, so should I believe I am her first? I doubt that too.
Why would she refuse to speak of them? I don't understand.
The Chastened tell of a falling out between Flemeth and her daughters. They say that one day she hunted them all through the wilds and ate their hearts.
Oh, good
It may
grief.
be true. I have never seen another witch or heard of one. Perhaps one day Flemeth will eat my heart as well.
Oh, God. Aren't abominations usually insane horrors? She just seems like an old lady. She's hiding it very well, if you ask me.
How often is this usually? Always? If not always, then when is it not true? There are more things in this world and the next than you or I could ever hope to understand. What Flemeth became is a mystery. I suspect, even to her.
Well, thank you very much for enlightening me, Morrigan. I thought I heard Liliana's version and that was pretty decent, but yours, so much better, if you don't mind me saying.
Flemeth tells it with far more embellishment than I, but you are welcome.
I struggle to
Dare I
believe
ask
that.
of your own mother? Few are abominations of legend, 'tis true, but I find myself curious, nevertheless.
Well, my mother, I have to say, is a useless drunk, if you must know.
Ah, then you have my sympathies for what it is worth. Which is very little, I am certain. It matters not. Let us move on.
Well, I suppose... No, your sympathies mean something to me, trust me.
What do you wish of me?
Now, let's see if we can discuss something a bit more personal. You know, we've chatted about stories over the campfire. Let's get to a bit of business.
We are in camp, so 'tis as good a time as any.
Indeed it is. Have I asked this as well? Why are you still here? That's quite rude. I'll ask it again.
I am here because Flemeth commanded me to aid you. Why? Do you wish me to leave?
No!
I can do so
Don't
if you
be
prefer.
silly, I'll ask you to leave. I don't want you to leave.
Then I assume our discussion ends here.
Ah, damn, I've now insulted her. Oh my god! No! What have I flaming done? All that conversation and now I've made things worse. I will never ask that again. Flaming Nora. Oh, for God's sakes. Right! Conversation over. I'm now unhappy. Really, all that and now I've frustrated my only person I like round here. Where do you see the thingamajiggies? The bars? That's still decent. Give her a few treats and she'll be right as rain. Okay. Let's gather our forces, people. It's time to march on to Redcliffe. Argument awaits. Morrigan, you shall come.
Indeed.
Indeed you shall. Well, Alistair, you shall come.
Yes.
And Liliana, you shall go.
Indeed.